Welcome to the second episode of Lost in Gaming, a series where I talk about games that were just straight up cancelled or are impossible to play anymore. Is that even possible? It sure is. And today we'll be talking about two cancelled Crash Bandicoot games and a Crash Bandicoot Spyro crossover that is impossible to play anymore. Welcome to the land of lost games. Let's dive into some crashy good games. The first game we're going to be talking about doesn't have much footage for it, even though the game was actually released to the public. The game was called Crash Bandicoot in Spyro Adventure World, and was hosted on a site called candystand.com, and brought to you by Nabisco. You know, the company that makes Chips Ahoy, Oreos, Fig Newtons, Sports with a Z, Pirates, Dad's Cookies, and Doodads. The site was a hub for minigames, and the whole thing was a way to promote the Crash Purple and Spyro Orange games that were releasing for the Game Boy Advance at the time. In specially marked boxes of Nabisco products, you could find Spyro and Crash Bandicoot playing cards that would unlock minigames on the candystand.com website. That included Crash's Nitro Kart Rally, Crash's Rocket Mania, Smack-a-Dingo, Ray Gun Alley, Spyro's Flying Adventure, Binky's Cavernous Caverns, and Hunter's Target Range. The hub was split up into 3 different islands, including the main island, Spyro's Island, and Crash's Island, each with their own branded games on each island, and it seems like there was some sort of enhanced version of each game, but sadly there's absolutely no gameplay footage anywhere on the internet that I can find. The only things left available are a few images of the islands and a commercial for the game that has a super brief clip of Crash's Rocket Mania in it.
Oh, sweet.
Game time! You can access Crash and Spyro online games at candystand.com with game cards from specially marked boxes of Capri Sun fruit rolls.
All of the files for Crash and Spyro's Adventure Island have since been taken down from the site and are no longer playable, and since they were around in the earlier years of the internet, no one saved any of the games for future play, so it's impossible to play the games anymore, and even if you did have the game somehow, you would still need to find the cards to unlock the games inside of the game, so this is for sure one for the record books that we will not be seeing again. 2010, also known by many Crash Bandicoot fans as the death of Crash Bandicoot. Now why is that? Maybe it's due to the fact that 2 giant Crash Bandicoot games were cancelled as whole groups of employees were laid off by Activision who were working on the 2 games. After that, we didn't receive anything Crash Bandicoot related until 2017 with the Insane Trilogy. Crash Bandicoot was pretty much dead at that point in time, and it's amazing and great that we have him back. But what were those 2 games that never got released? Let's find out now with Crash Team Racing 2010. The first 2010 game we're going to talk about is Crash Team Racing, which was eventually cancelled and reworked into DreamWorks Superstar Karts, which was such a great idea. The game had taken a lot of ideas from the original Crash Team Racing game, like weapons and characters. From a video on the game that was leaked onto YouTube in 2014, we can see exactly how the game was going to look and play. There was going to be items that included old school items like TNT and bowling balls, as well as the option to customize your kart with different abilities. These included crab tires that let you drive on sand, an armadillo bumper that protected you from attacks, and a frog engine that would let you jump high into the air, reaching different shortcuts. All of the characters that were included in the game used their models from the other cancelled Crash game that would have been released in 2010, and were all pre-existing characters except for the Land Shark. The other characters that were in the game were Crash, Dingodile, and Polar, and they all had their own special abilities. Crash could do his signature spin attack, Dingodile used his flamethrower, the Land Shark grabbed people in front of him and threw them behind him, and Polar rolls down the raceway on a giant snowball. Many other features were mentioned at one point or another that we would have seen in the game that included cutscenes, the ability for carts to fly, battle arenas, old tracks coming back, unlockable characters, a story mode, boss races, a shop to buy your car parts, a hub world, and around 8 cups with 4 to 5 tracks each. It's been a long time since we've had a Crash racing game, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of missing it. Hopefully we'll get a CTR remastered or a new Crash Team Racing in the future. Now for the last game that was not released. It goes by many names. Crash Bandicoot 2010, Crash Landed, its more well-known name, and what we now know to be possibly the official name for the game, I Am Crash Bandicoot. It was to be a reboot of the franchise, fresh from the start, and to be released directly after the finish of the Titan series. But the game was cancelled and we were never able to see it, until now, with some leaked footage. So, let's take a look at Crash Landed. Since the game was going to be rebooted, the story was also going to start over again, from scratch, with Crash Bandicoot being mutated by Cortex, and then Crash would have to find and save his fellow Bandicoots from Cortex before they were mutated as well. I also need to state that the inside name for these Bandicoots was Bandicutes, which I very much agree with since they look so adorable. Dingodile would have also made an appearance in the game as a major villain, and in one cutscene that was released, we can see him shooting Bandicoots out of a cannon. The game was going to be released on Xbox 360 and PS3, and also ported to the Wii. A version for the DS was also being considered at the time, and a few companies had sent in demos to show off what a Bandicoot game on the DS could look like. This demo being shown off was sent in by Renegade Kid to try and get the game for their company. In their demo, Crash had lives just like in the original games, but included a health bar instead of going with the normal mask life system that the old games had. There was also going to be an invention system, kind of like Dead Rising, that would let you build items by combining other items together. Some of the weapons and gadgets you can make included the Frogzooka, the Boom Bat, Glow Top, Fertilizer Gun, Bottle Rocket Launcher, Jetpack, and Jet Ski. Along with weapons, you could also ride creatures, but the only one we knew of was the Hog. Crash Landed looked to be a great spin on the Crash Bandicoot franchise. We may never know if it was going to be a good game or if the fan base would have loved it after the Titan series. But what we do know is it left us with a Crash Bandicoot dry spell for 7 years until the Insane Trilogy was remastered and released. Well, if there's any games you would like to see me talk about in Lost in Gaming or my other shows, make sure to point them in the comments below. And also, let me know if there's any cool games that you like that had a canceled game for it down in the comments below as well. And until then, I'll see you all in the next episode, and make sure to check out the Let's Play channel. We now have Sonic Forces, which we're really enjoying surprisingly, and Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door are their current running Let's Plays on my Let's Play channel. So go check it out, it's a fun time. We talk about weird stuff, like toys we used to play as a kid and cartoons we used to watch. It's a fun time, go check it out.